It's now time for us to delve into the big stories, going behind the headlines to interrogate the issues, bring the facts as it is, and also bring some insights and clarity to what the stories really are. And I'm pleased, very, very pleased, privileged to have joining me Alhaji Kamaldeen Abdullah. You know, he's a Deputy Communications Director for the New Patriotic Party. Alhaji, good morning and welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Jude, good morning. Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Amazing. How are you doing?
Terrific.
Great. Also joining us is a very, very regular on the show, Koshi Dede, who is an engineer and also a policy analyst. And Koshi, good morning and welcome.
Policy analyst.
I've given you the title.
Good morning. Good morning.
Amazing. I hope you are well.
Yes, I am.
All right, so the big conversations we'll be looking at today. Yesterday we had the Finance Ministry through the Deputy Minister Thomas Ampem Nyako on the floor of Parliament. The Daily Graphic captures it and said, Audit spots 21 billion fraud on state coffers. Government targets corporates for prosecution. It led to a series of debates really across the side. Governor Sagboja, the Communications Ministry, Government Communications Minister Felix also was on the floor. The Deputy Energy Minister Richard Jan Mensah also took his turn to explain issues. On the minority side, we heard from the likes of Abdul Kabiru Mahama, Walewale MP. We heard from Dominic Nitu, former Defense Minister Kennedy Nyako also spoke on the issues. We even heard from Menchia South Member of Parliament, Nana Yawa Safueje, who said government was engaging in pure propaganda, you know, calling the reports, in his words, garbage. Is it really the case? Is there something we need to look at from what we've seen? In fact, Dominic Nitu also said that government was using this to divert attention from the ongoing cocoa sector challenges. So my guest to be helping us bring some clarity to this, like I've said. Alhaji, I'll start off with you. It was grim from a pure perspective of like the ordinary Ghanaian, you know, some onlookers listening to the Deputy Minister yesterday outline, you know, all of the challenges. In fact, when Governor Abuja took his turn to speak, he made mention of the fact that there were some road contracts where 29 million had been mobilized for the contractor under the MPP administration, you know, and they signed deals and agreements to the effect that even if they are unable to come to site after mobilization, the agreement suggested that they could keep, you know, this $29 million. And it brings the question of, are we really minded about the struggles of this country? I don't know what your initial thoughts are on this report.
Thank you very much. I think that I'll have to say good morning once again to you, Jude, and good morning to Engineer, as well as our viewers out there. You see, graft in whatever form it occurs must be fought by us all. Or corruption in whatever form it appears must be fought by us all. And you see, when you have a right and you decide to sit on your right or waive your right at a point, your moral standing to raise it again later will be questionable. Why? We've seen governments upon governments in the Fourth Republican Constitution. We had the NDC 1, the NDC 2, the MPP 1, the MPP 1, MPP 2. Now we are having to deal with NDC 2 and NPP also coming again. That way, for over 30 years straight, we've had. And our Constitution tells us that before a government exits, there is something we call transition. Within that transition, handing over notes is prepared. Every single aspect of the government will be discussed. Okay? The incoming government forms a government. What is expected of the incoming government is to continue with what the outgone government has done. Where you think that there are problems, pinpoint them, bring them out, call them to come and answer. It is a going concern. Why? The same Constitution establishes the Auditor General's Department and is supposed to audit public funding. Okay? Now, for someone who knows all this to come and stand and make wild allegations, no wonder somebody sitting in the parliament will call it garbage. Why? If a road minister says that some 29 million Ghana cedi has actually been given to somebody, and some deals were actually entered into to say that going to cite a loan, then the nation forfeits the 29 million. That is a wild allegation.
If a second certificate is not raised.
That what? What does that mean?
So, you know, the idea was that 29 million for mobilization was paid.
Yes.
And if after mobilization, if government is not able to raise the remaining funding, the company undertaking the project, you know, is at liberty to keep the money paid as mobilization.
So if you are questioning
fees.
the practice and you think that is not a proper convention, what are you supposed to do as a representative of government? And for that matter, Ghana, as a minister. Okay? You don't just come say it to the media and work on what steps have you taken to give a paper trail to it. And then raise those red flags. Then anyone who is supposed to deal with it with evidence, like the Attorney General or whoever, would ensure that that is properly done. Or the PAC is going to deal with it. And whoever is supposed to be search charged, they search charge the person. That is why I'm saying that, look, you see, we shouldn't be talking as if we have no institutions. This scaremongering, this coming out to speak to emotions of people and wanting people to believe that the outgone government was bad and that you are good, I think is unfortunate. Why? Under the MPP, didn't we also see them being handed over documents which were also questionable? We saw. People were prosecuted. Some decided to even pay through plea bargain and all that. So it is something that happens. That is why I could not have agreed more with Kabiru when he says that, look, let us appear quite practical. Let us appear quite frank. Raise some of these issues if you have to raise them. But don't present it as though you want someone to look bad when, in fact, the nitty-gritty of the matter has not even been delved into. Why? Yesterday in Parliament, the Speaker had cause to refer the entire report to PAC, Public Accounts Committee, and gave them some 3 weeks to work on it, scrutinize it, and whoever is supposed to answer the question must be hauled before the committee, give answers to it. It tells you that an audit report is not a finality. It's a work in progress. So why do we have, quote unquote, I've seen some publishing, somebody will say 68 billion rot, when in fact, even the report yesterday presented, what was questionable was 8 billion, and not 68 billion. And then somebody comes to say 68 billion rot under MPP. Why do we do this to ourselves as a country? The same way we did to Oral. When we came, we said some $21 billion could be retrieved from people. Oral. Okuzedo Ablakwa, Foreign Affairs Minister, is on record to have said that some $21 billion raised our hopes. And Ghanaians believe in it. Only for Attorney General to come and say it was garbage.
He didn't say that. The president...
the garbage is my word anyway.
Yes.
But he says that what they brought was actually not tenable in terms of evidence.
But they've made some headway, right? Because according to the president...
Did he say what I'm saying or not?
According to the president, 600 million of...
So it's 600 million guys, 21 billion.
It's an ongoing program.
With all respect, Jude.
No.
So it's 600 million, $21 billion. 600 million Ghana cedis. Is it equity to 21 billion?
Some of the cases are still in court.
So you're still supporting it when the man himself, who is supposed to be having the documents, the evidence, tells you that all that they raised were fantasies. And that there was nothing, no documents, no evidence to prove that. And that he could not speak to the $21 billion. The same Attorney General, who is supposed to go and get that money for you, says that I could not even speak to this matter because what they brought, there's no evidence on it. And we ran into town with it, castigate people, chastise people, run people's reputation down, only to come out and then prove that it was a lie. Why do we do this in the country? And I am saying that whoever is given a mandate, you are in the driver's seat, please work with the law.
Interesting.
If Kamal is actually culpable, Kamal hasn't done the right thing in terms of figures and whatever, call Kamal to answer. If he doesn't answer and you have sufficient evidence, go to court. Whether Kamal is there or not, you are allowed to go to court and get the money for us. When this country, when Matamidu went to court to get, will you miss money for us? Didn't he try? We could even do it. That's a citizen. So I'm saying that the institutions should not just do, don't let us reduce this to propaganda. Many have come to call this propaganda. Some have given all sorts of names, garbage. Some say it is just rumor mongering. Some say it's just to come and scare people. Some say you want to divert attention from the material issues that is happening to us today. It's because of the way you present it. Okay, so I would say that, look, it was a call in the right direction for the Speaker to have referred this matter to the PAC. We are going to look at, we are going to follow keenly what the PAC will do about this. And the outcome, the law is clear. Whoever is supposed to pay some money or refund some money, let the person be surcharged. And let that person pay back the money to the state. When we do things nicely like this, devoid of propaganda, devoid of PR, I think it will be better. And again, I will end by saying whether MPP or NDC, whoever is culpable, whoever is culpable, let the person come to answer, because our consolidated fund is ours as Ghanaians. It's not for any individual.
Interesting. Thank you for that opening remarks, Kamal Dean. Let me come to an engineer, right? And I think Kamal raises 4 strong points. He starts off by saying that there's a government transitions team that is mandated to look into all aspects of governance. So why now, right? He also talks about the fact that to an extent it smacks of scaremongering by the government in an attempt to divert from, you know, the real issues. He also says that there are state institutions mandated to look at all of these. You are an engineer. A lot of what you are saying or discussing involves people who are also in the fraternity. I listened to Honorable Kennedy Nyakon, who said that, see, a lot of the time when some of these things happen, we are quick to point fingers at the politicians. Meanwhile, they are not the ones who sign off these checks.
That's right.
It's the technocrats, you know, and to an extent, the engineers working in the ministries. So, Koshi, Ghana Institute of Engineering, I'm not saying you are the ones responsible, but should we start asking questions of those who work as technocrats for our ministries?
Definitely so. Particularly yesterday, I heard that the Minister for Roads had stopped the work at the Tekwashi interchange because of traffic. I don't know how true that is.
It was from the contractor,
yes,
who said that they've suspended the ongoing diversion because they didn't anticipate the level of the traffic.
So for me, again, that is a sad thing to happen. One, because as engineers, we deal with traffic management, we deal with traffic flow. You must know the traffic count on that road. By now, I mean, nobody should tell me that they don't know the traffic count on that road. So if you are going to do construction, you're going to do diversion, you should be able to determine how that diversion should be done effectively, not to disrupt the lives of Ghanaians. So for me, it's sad that it should happen and then we stop. Because this work was awarded how many years ago? And by now, all the planning, all the data you need to plan for diversion should be available to you. So it's a sad thing to happen because it impacts on the engineering practice. It says that we do not think through it very well. That is, and so then it goes back to our colleagues in the ministries or in the urban roads or highways. That how did they approve it? How did they come to approve it? When they knew all the data, when they had all the data. So these things are signs that we as professionals generally, not just engineers in this country, need to look at ourselves and question, because sometimes it's not just about law, it's also about the ethics of professions. Because when you say you are a professional, you are a doctor, for that matter, sometimes it's not about the law that is written down, it's about the ethics, the things that you have sworn to do. Similarly, when it comes to engineering practice, when it comes to lawyers, it's about the ethics. And all these things are about upholding professional practice. So that when any other professional or your colleague comes into this country, they look around and say, oh, the lawyers in this country are reputable. The engineers in this country are reputable and they are comparable to engineers in other countries. So for me, these are worrying things. So let's come back to the issues that are happening in Parliament when it comes to the issue of alleged corruption or funds not being administered properly. Again, like you rightly said, the people who approve for works completion, this has been done, go and take this money, they are technocrats.
Okay.
The evidence that must come before them is it should be substantial. That if you say 100 kilometers of roads has been completed, it's measurable. The specs for that design is there. If you're supposed to lay maybe 6 inches of asphalt, has it been laid? And that is why I see a lot of complaints about, oh, the roads get damaged very quickly, even after we have just finished the road. So the question is, the work of technocrats can always be measured and evaluated. So if you are a smart politician and the road is finished and the road gets damaged, and then they point fingers, oh, the politicians have taken 10%. The next thing you as a road minister must do is to call for an audit of the road.
Absolutely.
You can call the road and see whether you have 6 inches of asphalt. You can test the material to see whether the mix was right. You understand? And then the engineers who signed or the people who approved the road must be held accountable. Now, again, there's also the other part. What was the axle road for the design? If the axle design was, say, 11 tons per axle, and suddenly we have 15 tons axle load on the road, it would naturally get damaged. So for us, there are reasons why roads also get damaged, for which proper investigations must be done. It doesn't necessarily mean that there has been corruption. So all these things need to be looked at very closely. But I say that if politicians themselves want to be honest and if they want to deal with issues, they should hold the technocrats accountable for some of these things.
So the buck stops with the politicians.
It stops with the politicians.
Even though technocrats have a role to play.
Because at the end of the day, no politician can steal money, public funds, without the connivance of public servants. Without the technocrats, they cannot. Because if they do, the records will show.
Yeah.
And so somewhere along the line, the technocrats are conniving with them. So if the politicians say, let's go and look at the technocrats, then the politicians themselves must come with clean hands. I remember this case of Dr. What's his name? Who was in charge of roads during Dr. Kufuor's time? What's his name? Dr. Anani. You remember there was this issue of a certain check coming before him, which was supposed to be about 50,000 and zeros had been added. I always remember that case very well.
Yeah.
Then I asked myself, who were the people who prepared that check and put in front of him? Who signed it?
That was just fundamental question, though.
Exactly. What happened to the people? Who were the people who went, because the document went through several processes to get to him. And then he suddenly noticed that, a 0 has been added or 2 zeros have been added. What happened to the people in that office? Nothing happens. So for me, these are the things that we need to seriously look at if we want to address the issue of corruption.
Wow.
Also, again, we have politicized public service to the extent that anytime there's a change in government, everybody says, these are the NPP people, these are the NDC people, so sack them, promote me. So you do not have a meritocracy within our public service anymore. So people know that nothing will be done to them. Worst case, if a government comes, I'll be pushed aside, somebody else will come in. So our politicians, again, need to be honest with us and say, how do we deal with the rot within our public service?
Amazing.
And interesting
Interesting perspectives, right? So Kamaldeen points to state agencies and say, go there, look at the issues. You also say, while technocrats are to accept a level of the blame,
yes,
the responsibility and ultimate responsibility ends with the politician. And I like the point you make on meritocracy. I think you also touched a bit on continuity in government,
yes,
right?
Yes,
when you
it
talk
boils
about
down, you see, this interconnects. When I said going concern, and engineer says, look, it isn't only the politician who is working at that public service. We have, if you like, civil servants or public servants working under him. Now, all these officers who are supposed to be there on merits, okay, are supposed to aid the political appointee to ensure that the outcome that we desire is achieved. Okay? And I could not have agreed more with the more honorable member of parliament, Osenya, who raised it, and engineer also asserting same position. That look, the rot sometimes is not even seen by the, to be done by the politician. We should look into the activities of our civil servants at those ministries, those agencies. Okay, we should look into the activities. The example he gave of a check of 50,000 and then some zeros were added. We may even have them more. And then when they end up, they'll tell you it's an accounting error.
Exactly.
As a defense. I'm telling you, they'll tell you it is an accounting error, and then you go back because you have actually been able to bust the person. He says it's an accounting error. Then he has a window to escape. All these things, we don't look at it. And then we politicians will come to parliament, be at each other's throat, giving it and take because of political mileage that we need outside. I think it's unfortunate. And the very person who is supposed to be held responsible is left off the hook.
The deputy minister says that the report exposes the systemic plunder an abuse of the public financial management system. He also described it as a rotten system designed by the politicians.
Systemic plunder.
To fleece the people of Ghana. I listened to Tamale North Member of Parliament, Al Hassan Suini, I'm sure he's a friend, and he said that each time a government, or a regime had changed in government, it was through corruption, whether it was military era or constitutional democracy. People would vote because of corruption. Governments were toppled in coups because of corruption, right? As a political party, are you worried that a year after office, right, these serious allegations are being raised by some persons, who were in government during your tenure?
You see, like I said earlier on, this is not new. Officers have been tried in the past of past governments and in fact convicted and even served their sentence.
But in 69 years of independence,
say,
how many cases?
So that is why I'm building a point. I'm trying to say that what he has just said is not new at all. That is why he said it's a systemic issue. We should look at entirely the structure of our governance, the system. Where are the loopholes? How does corruption occur? At what point can we say there's a clerical error or there's an accounting error, and we have left it so? All these things are supposed to be. It's not a matter for NDC MPP alone. That's the difficulty. As soon as we reduce it to a matter of NDC MPP alone, then of course the audit institution that we have put in place will not even function properly. Okay? Meanwhile, it is supposed to be all officers at the ministries and agencies and departments. Yet we have decided to narrow it to mean politicians. And that is why your question goes like, issues have been raised against past government or immediate past government. It shouldn't be immediate past government. That's why I said even past government have had people prosecuted, okay, and convicted. Now what can we do going forward? There should be a panacea. There should be a solution to it. Which solution is that, look, we have decided to go digital in some of these ministries. Okay? And somebody told me, internet no lie. Computer no lie. Once it has stored it, and there's a way we're supposed to, if we guide against it, even 1,000 years, you go back and visit it again. Now, once you also digitalize everything that you are doing within those ministries, sometimes it is very difficult for someone to have, hands in changing some of these things. So for me, it is a way to go. Let's look at the system. Let's ensure the digitalization that we are talking about actually works in our ministries. Let's give proper training to officers who are there now. Let them further up their knowledge in terms of how to handle some of these things digitally. Then, at the end of the day, it will go a long way to reduce the corruption that we're talking about. Otherwise, just as Ampim gave a report, the same way a new government comes tomorrow, that government is also going to come out with a report to say that, look, this happened yesterday, that happened yesterday. But for me, all this thing happening, timing matter. Just next year, God willing, by the end of this year, next year, we're going into a campaign season. Okay? All parties will be upbeat. And whatever you bring up, they will tell you it's politics. Whatever you bring up, they say, oh, you are going to fight your opponent because you want advantage.
So this is the perfect time to deal with it.
The perfect time is when you are sworn in. Just when you are done with your transition. Don't sit down and tell us that, okay, you have time to work. You are supposed to look into the books before even take other policies. What happened at Cocoa Board? As soon as they came in, the CEO was given. The first policy was that let's go to the board and get some board approval and buy cars. Then when issues came up, we say, oh, even the old government, we did not even look into them. The books are there. We're supposed to make sure that. What stopped you from scrutinizing those books before even making a decision to go and buy cars? You didn't do that. So I am saying that sometimes we misplace our priorities. So if the matter is there before you, the timing is matter. Use the first quarter or first 2 quarters. Look into the books properly. If you need an external auditor to come and look at, let them do it properly. When they are done, those who have to answer questions, let them come and answer. Then you do a press conference and say, this is what I have been given. This is what we are taking off. Our new policy will start in the 3rd quarter or 4th quarter. This is understandable. But you don't come and then do your own things. Then the next one, when you are having a problem, you say, oh, even yesterday, the one who was there misappropriate funds. Oh, to tell people that you not misappropriate funds, nobody will take you serious.
But
so I think
are you admitting that your government did not also put in place the necessary guardrails to prevent some of these things?
Governance has always been a growing concern, like I indicated earlier on. I would be very unfair to my government if we say we didn't do some work. Why? We had laws under procurement. We had amended certain laws as well. We had ensured that some e-payments were done, just like the other government. We ameliorated some of the existing things we did. So, like government upon government, we try to do this. And see, I've always said the 69 years of our country, we aren't that bad, for God's sake. I saw how City FM started. I saw how City TV started, ChannelOne TV started. I saw the buildings you were in, the kind of studios you have. Today, you don't have that. 69 years ago, Ghana wasn't like this. The road we ply on Tesano, from Circle to Achimota, just not too long ago, when I came to Accra from the north, from Achimota barrier to Circle, I could spend 4 hours, when it was a single route. It took President Kufuor and Co to come and widen up. Tetekwashi, the work that you are there doing, wasn't there. Today, 69 years down the line, we have had it. So I'm not saying that, yes, we are there yet, but we have actually advanced as a country. And in so doing, whatever we are doing as a country, let us see ourselves in the positive and help to better whatever we are. But we shouldn't say nothing at all has been done. I think when we do that, we are not doing this.
Kamaldeen says that it's not all gloom.
It's not all gloom, yeah.
There's been some successes that has been chalked 69 years on. But I want to segue back to the issues around whether or not we've seen our political class do more to curb some of these things. 69 years on, a dozen of appointees have been jailed. Is it because the corruption is not rampant, or there's possibly a problem with our justice delivery system? I don't know where you want to take it from.
Yeah, there's a problem with our willingness to prosecute people. There's clearly a problem. And let me also state that 69 years is a long time. And if you say we want to pat ourselves in the back and say, oh, but it's not too bad, I say, let's simply compare ourselves to China. What China has done for itself in 40 years, you are 69 years old. I mean, if you say 69, see what China has done for itself in 40 years. We should not in any way be patting ourselves on the back. We have lost a lot. Look, the countries that we began with, we had the same level of performance index as us.
Singapore,
Malaysia, they have all gone. So for us to simply sit around, look around our neighbors, look at Togo, look at Cote d'Ivoire, and say, oh, we haven't done too badly, for me, it's a sad statement. We shouldn't be glorifying ourselves. Now, we'd like to talk about the fact that, oh, systemic problems. Systemic problems are corrected by people. They are corrected by people, but we are not willing to hold people accountable in this country. So anytime there's a systemic, oh, let's go and make new laws. Let's go and do this. Let's buy IT systems. Look, let me tell you, 2 days ago, I went to Ghana Water Company. I was going to pay for water bill. I got there. After a few minutes, the lady looks at me and says, oh, the system is down. So I should go and come back, or I should wait. I mean, then I asked myself, someone has come in to pay money. You think a private company will do that? That's the simple question I ask myself. Will a private company do that? I walk in to pay money. Then you say, oh, the system is down, so I should either wait or go and come. So when I put this, a lot of my colleagues started laughing at me. They say, oh, you are old school. Go on do an app on your phone and make. I say, yes, but someone still walks in. And then we should lay all those stuff off and let everybody go on their phone and pay. You understand? So the systems that we design, unfortunately, most of this idea about digitalization is all about procurement. There is no genuine attempt to solve problems. Look, a few years ago, you remember we had Snitch going to buy a software for $100 and something million. What's happened to that case? Nothing. But when a poacher goes to Ankasa Game Reserve to go and shoot rats, he's jailed within a few months.
And those who are entering our forest reserves illegally are walking about.
Exactly, and those who are doing illegal mining, big money, whenever big money comes into force, you realize that no justice is delivered or justice is delayed. So we have a problem.
So you say the political will, but I asked you, is there a problem also with our justice delivery?
Yes, so, but it all begins with the politics. Who appoints the judges? Who holds them accountable? It all comes down to the politics.
The separation of powers principle,
there is separation,
which suggests that the judges are independent-minded.
They are independent-minded, but the prosecutor, look, I mean, let's go to court. Look at the Attorney General. How often do they pursue cases? Seriously.
There's oral.
So let me give you a typical example. This government came into office. Cases that were being prosecuted, a lot of them were simply dropped. So, no. So I asked myself, was it genuine? Or is it coincidence that most of the people's cases who were dropped were affiliated to the party?
They gave, to be fair, in the case of Ato Forsen, you know, and Jakpa on the ambulance case, reasons were given. You know, they even suggested that the way the former Attorney General went about tampering with evidence, you know, I think before too, the Attorney General came out to give some explanation. So it would be a bit unfair to say the case, you know, was dropped without
has the nation lost money? What has happened to those ambulances? Today, when you drive through, I think the new road that
the Mojamhama bypass,
exactly, you see ambulances.
You see the ambulances.
So again, a few years ago, we lost Payables. They were left in the sun to rot away. Whose money is it? We have ambulances left there to rot because we simply discontinue a case and we leave it there. Now we are going to procure new ambulances, isn't it? So you see that there is no genuine attempt to really solve problems. All we are interested is in throwing out procurements and then making it look like we are trying to solve problems. So all these issues of digitalization, we are doing this, we are doing this. It's all, most of it is about procurement. You see, no law, no single law can correct people's behavior. It is only when we begin to hold people accountable to the laws that people's behavior will change. But here in Ghana, we are not willing to do that. We look people in the face and say, this is my friend. So let's let it be. Tomorrow, so continuously, we see even within the political class, a question of scratch my back and I'll scratch your back. So really, we are not changing anything. And that is why I say that even the professional class, if we are to look at our own ethics without laws, we should be able to straighten this country. But we are not also willing. And one Joy FM journalist put it quite frank, brilliantly recently.
Everybody's trying to not make the problem apply to them.
Everybody is trying to make money to overcome the problem. So when the roads are bad, I must buy a Land Cruiser. When the water is not flowing, I must dig a well in my house.
Or airport hills.
Exactly. So you see that the political class and the middle class, the upper middle class and everybody is not interested in solving the problem.
Kamadi, is that what it is? That the case? You see, you're in government a few months ago.
What is worrying?
Engineer gave, I mean, he compared us to some countries, like Malaysia, like Singapore. Of course, Malaysia, for instance,
and even China
had independence with us the same year, 1957. And no doubt, Malaysia has gone beyond us. When you take Singapore, in fact, they have also gone ahead of us. But they all have a history. What kind of government did they use to ensure that discipline was instilled? And what kind of government are we using as a country throughout the 69 years? Okay, this is the fundamental issue that we need to look at. We are having to do or to deal with political instability for a very long time. At a point in the name of democracy, this will come in. Then coup d'etat comes in, that comes in. So there is no consistency in terms of policy rollout. Okay? I'm not holding the fort for Ghana, but I'm trying to say that how far we have come, we shouldn't just say we have done so bad. But because of the situation we find ourselves in, okay, we could not have done exactly what they have done. In Saudi Arabia, for instance, go and see the kind of development, rapid development in Saudi Arabia. Those who went to Hajj 20 years ago or 30 years ago, today when they go to Saudi Arabia, they will be missing. Because they have transformed all the cities to modern cities. Why? Because they have a government that is consistent. It's a monarch. Nobody says this, one government says this. Our situation, when Ampim comes to give a report, MPP have their spectacle.
NDC.
CPP have their spectacle. NDC has their spectacle. At the end of the day, we are even divided to which one is the common.
Let me
so
read.
I think that's the difficulty.
Let me read something for you. Let me read something for you. Agenda 111, 35 contractors took $7.9 million but failed to mobilize Finance Ministry.
Good.
Excerpts of it read, the Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampem has disclosed that 35 contractors under the Agenda 111 initiative received $7.9 million in mobilization funds but failed to mobilize to cite or deliver work commensurate with the payment. Presenting the report of the Auditor General on Arrears and Payables at the end of 2024 in Parliament on Tuesday, the Deputy Minister said an audit of projects under Agenda 111 uncovered significant irregularities in the utilization of funds paid to contractors. And the story goes on and on and on, and it provides some background to it. I'm raising this because in your initial remarks, you said that an audit report does not necessarily, confirm wrongdoing, right? But in the case of Agenda 111, it was announced as a very huge campaign promise in response to a global pandemic at the time. In fact, the promise made by the president at the time was that it was going to be completed in a year. That didn't happen, obviously. It's been many years after. We barely can point to one fully functioning hospital,
as a result of that
promise. So if you say that, the report is not finality, the state of affairs in terms of whether or not these hospitals have been built sorts of, tell a different story. So I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
If you listened to me earlier, I said that graft in whatever form it occurs must not be countenanced by us at all. Or corruption in whatever form it occurs must never be supported by us at all. I said that earlier. This your question about Agenda 111 reminds me of what happened to E-Blocks under John Mahama 1. He had a good intention. I want to build 200 secondary schools to the ministry and call them E-Blocks to provide it. What was the end? Out of the 200, they even struggled to get 46. And most of it were uncompleted. It took Akufo-Addo government to also come and say, let's do audit. I'm just trying to, let's do audit. Let's look at what it is. Where have they gotten to, and we complete. To the extent that they completed one in Volta region where we had commissioning was a problem. You remember that all this. So I am trying to say that yesterday we had that problem. Today we are having this problem raised. And now your question as to why I said audit report is not final. Okay? When some of these things are already unearthed, that people take money and they have not even gone to site. They've not even mobilized. Yes, that is why the Speaker of Parliament yesterday said that if this is what it is, refer it to PAC. PAC should do a proper job. Give us a report. We'll look at whatever surcharge that is supposed to be given to whoever. Whoever has taken a penny, let that person pay. I am not for anyone who will take money, 7 million, 8 million Ghana cedis, and you don't even mobilize to site. I'm not for that person. Okay? And I'm saying it doesn't happen just yesterday. Government upon government, we see this. And that's why engineer says, to what end? Is this country going to be plundered this way? Continuously, and we are quiet? So if it is the issue about Agenda 111, deal with it to the end. If it is Mr. A who has taken that money, and you came into offices 1 year ago or 2 years ago, and you have not called Mr. A to ask questions, you have not gone to the site to find out whether tangibly the work has been done, like engineer rightly told you. These are things you can verify. And call, you are quiet about it, then of course, you are complicit yourself. To a large extent.
Except the majority say that the Public Accounts Committee, they don't trust it to do a good job because...
So who will do the job?
So they want a special
committee. The Constitution has prescribed which committee to do the work. The Constitution has prescribed which institution to do the work. So
but the argument they make is that the Public Accounts Committee is one of the few committees chaired by the minority. A lot of the infractions raised, had to do with the Finance Ministry. The current chair of the Public Accounts Committee was a Minister of State at the Finance Ministry. In fact, she was a long-serving Deputy Minister. So it will not serve in the public interest to have somebody who...
No, we are not being fair to her. We are not being... Whoever is in that chair. That's the Constitution. You see, we don't do things out of the blue. The Constitution says and prescribes how the committee is going to be looked at.
Yeah.
Okay, is going to be formed. The composition is already designed.
But is it not a conflict of interest?
It is not. It
I mean, how can you? How can you? No, but
the woman has
let's-
done nothing.
No, Kamadi, how can you be a judge in your own court? Like, because a lot of the things that happened, she was there at the
Don't
ministry.
tell me you are insinuating that the woman is complicit in this matter.
No, in fact, the majority
If
leader,
she's not.
no, the majority leader even said that it wasn't to suggest that she was complicit. So that's agreed. But the point is that a lot of the contracts that were agreed, you know, happened during her tenure.
She's not the one. First of all, whoever is in that chair is not a contractor. If it happens that her company, that is direct, is different. But this matter, she's not. And the matter is that we have all structures put in place on the table. Who is in charge? This minister. Who is that person? They call that person to order. You cannot.
What if it happens that the question of who approves this and it's found to be?
Yeah, when we get there, we cross it. If it happens that she's actually she's neck deep in it and has a role to play in it, that is why you can raise conflict of interest. But if she has nothing at all to do with it and she's supposed to do a constitutional duty or perform a constitutional duty, I don't think we can stop them from doing that way. I'm saying, just yesterday it has been referred to them. Once it has been referred to the committee, let the committee do their work. Let us, by the end of the 3 weeks, we see the result of the committee. Then at the end of the day, who is supposed to answer questions, those people are called to the committee and they answer questions.
It's not necessary for the public accounts committee. It's not necessary for a special committee in this.
Yeah, I think it was a special committee.
You know,
the audit in itself, the auditor conducted itself is a special committee. Okay, and now having done your work, then it comes to Parliament. Parliament, like I said, they have structures. My brother here is a parliamentarian. He knows how it works. He can't even get up in Parliament and just say, I want to make a statement. He has to go through a process. So everything is a procedure. Okay, once the procedure is laid, you cannot jump the gun to do what you want to do. Yesterday, I listened to the minority leader who said, look, this report has come.
The minority leader.
Yeah, this report has come. You people are calling for some special committee, ad hoc committee to deal with it. We have already our structures in Parliament. And then the speaker reasoned with him. And then they had to do their work.
So let's go by it.
Let's go by it. So if actually the law says do X, Y, Z, you do that. The law also says do this, you do it. But I'm saying that whoever is on the PAC must know that this money is meant for our public purpose. And must know that my work is to investigate properly to find out how that money has been used. And then must know that whoever is culpable, the person must be surcharged according to law.
Interesting.
And then we'll all be safe.
I want us to move on the conversation by Al Hassan. And because you have...
I just wanted to make a quick point.
Okay.
You see, so he's raised a good point about whether we should be looking at the governance system that we are practicing. Because he cited Saudi Arabia and people who have had longevity in terms of stability in their political system. Yes, stability is important, but it is also the character of the people in charge and what they seek to do. For instance, Ghana we started on this democratic journey in 1992, isn't it?
The Fourth Republic.
The Fourth Republic.
Yeah.
So we've had 34 years. Rwanda, after a bitter civil war ended in 1994, have also had stability since. What have they done with their stability as compared to ours?
But we're still better than them.
You see, no,
We are
But
still better than
they've
Rwanda.
had, they've basically...
but you see,
We are
the
still better than
metrics,
them.
the metrics that they'll use from where they have come and where they are in terms of achievement is better than Ghana. I mean, look at the order in the cities.
In Kigali.
Okay. So you see, we should stop this idea of patting ourselves and saying we are doing well because we go and look at Togo, we go and look at Benin, we go and look at Nigeria.
Nigeria
and then we say
repeating
we
the
are
same
doing
points.
very well. I mean, for me, it's sad.
Anyway.
I mean, look at the resources we have and what we have done to ourselves over the years. So I think that the key thing is how we are able to hold people accountable, responsible for their actions and inactions.
Amazing. Abdul Fattah, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, my brother.
A lot has been said.
Senior panelists.
It's Honorable Abdul Fattah.
Oh yes, member of parliament for
It's
years.
you are
Abdul
charged.
Fattah. It's Abdul Fattah.
I hope I'm not in contempt of the
Don't
office.
mind, I like to come on.
Yes, so Honorable Abdul Fattah, member of parliament for Yendi. A lot has been said. You know, I listened to the minority make arguments yesterday in the aftermath of the special report delivered by the Deputy Finance Minister. They say you are scaremongering. In fact, some say it's propaganda. Nana Asafweje Bafu, Wamisha South, member of parliament. And they say also that it's a diversionary tactic, right? Because there's oral. You came into government promising to recoup about $21 billion, right? But we've not really heard anything. So What are your initial thoughts, very briefly, before we wrap up the conversation on the special report?
Apologies for arriving late. I was stuck in some serious traffic. Well, if they call it scaremongering, well, you know, minority has every right to christen it the way they like it. I call this the mother aura. You see, if you look at aura was brought up not by professional auditors. Look at the report here. We are talking about a report that is the output.
Domelevo is not a professional auditor.
Who?
Domelevo, member of Aura.
He was just one single person. We are talking about
Domelevo
institutions.
was not.
We are talking about institutions.
No, but they solicited
I'm talking about
reports.
institutions.
They solicited
Let me
reports
tell
from
you
the
one
public,
thing.
so
If you compare Aura to this report, no one will tell you that this report carries more weight than Aura, because this report has PwC. You see, Domelevo is an individual. When we are talking about Auditor General, it's not one individual. It's not an individual, it's an institution.
Go on and make
When
a
we are
point.
talking about PwC, it's not an individual, it's the institution PwC. When we are talking about Ernst & Young, we are talking about an institution. These three institutions came together to produce this document. Okay. That cannot be compared to Aura. You understand? Now, and this, if you look at this, the work that these people did, look at Aura, they did their work within a very short period. These people took over a year to come up with this report. And you see, if you look at this report, to me, the safest way to start is not for minority to start defending things in this report. Look, the public sector is sick. And me, when I say this, I'm not putting the blame at the doorstep of politicians. If you look at some of the things happening in that report.
You are late. We said all this earlier.
yeah.
Yes, if you look at the things happening in that report, it will tell you that the bureaucrats in our public sector institutions are rather more to be blamed than the politicians. Most of the time, we put the blame at the doorsteps of the politicians, and that is where we are getting it wrong.
That's true.
If you look at some of the validations we see, the certifications we see, the documents that we see, no minister does those things.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
understand?
You said
It's
it
done by
earlier, yeah.
technocrats at those ministries. And so if we are going into this, in fact, this has the tendency of changing our whole public finance management architecture. And I get sick when at all times we come up with new means of resolving our issues. Oh, when PFMA was coming, everybody was hailing it as they want to bring
Transformational.
sanity to the management of public finances. Today, look at what even the same system that we have brought up, thinking we're going to have an end to this. Is look at what we are getting. And so, please, let's not start this conversation with MPP NDC. It may have happened within the time of MPP, but you see, if we are patriotic as we say we are, we should be looking at curbing or nibbling the problem in the back. You understand? If we are able to get to this, if you look at some of the infractions that we've seen, how can you even issue documents that you have received this number of cars at your ministry or at your department, when in fact you have not? Look at even the judicial service. You have confirmed that you have received 7 saloon cars. And there are documents to that effect. Just after the audit has commenced, then the contractor rises back to judicial service to say that
So Graphic captures
they
it,
are
right?
incapable of supplying the cars. The same cars that you have confirmed that you have received.
Graphic reported it to say, similarly, the Judicial Service had an SRA for 7 Toyota Saloon cars
Yes.
dated October
Store receipt
2024.
advices.
But the supplier wrote that the service admitting could not supply the vehicles.
And what is
And it goes
SRA?
on.
Let's educate
Wow.
people about SRA is only issued after you receive the item. That is store receipt. It means that I'm confirming that I have received this. And the receipts, the store receipts advices are there. And now, when they heard that this investigation started, then they came back, the same suppliers now came back to write to the judicial service to tell them that we can't honor our obligation under the contract. So what were they receiving? What were they receiving? You see, so I don't want it to be thrown into, and otherwise we will not get anywhere. It is a bigger issue we have at hand than Aura. In fact, from today onwards, we should even put our effort more on this report than on Aura. And I have seen that attempt in Parliament to start that conversation along those lines, and that will not help the.
What is your government's commitment to improve, number one, the public financial management system as we have it now? You went here, Koshi made a point that, see, we are always quick to add new laws when that is not a solution.
Exactly.
So the question, what are you doing
I
to
think
improve
the
it?
first thing we have done, and that is what will be, in fact, and I am happy that when the Kojo Oponkoba, I heard him one time speaking to some of the things NDC has done, and he has credited this government for one thing. He said this commitment certificate. It is one big thing that can bring sanity to our public financial management system. We don't need new laws. You understand? We just need to be firm and be candid to ourselves and make the systems work. One weekend, what we did was that, look, we have a Minister of Finance who sits at the ministry. And you see MDAs, ministries, department, agencies, giving out contracts without the knowledge of the Minister of Finance. And so while the Minister of Finance has in his books that Ghana owes 30 billion, he is not aware that this ministry, this department, this agency is going into various contracts at all times, accumulating the debt for the minister. And before you realize, the minister has one figure as a debt, and the nation's debt is actually a different figure. And so when we came, the first thing we did was to bring an amendment to the PFMA Act to say that now, for every contract beyond 1 million Ghana cedis, what we expect you to do is it has to have a commitment certificate from the finance minister. So now, regardless of where you are issuing the contract from, whether it is from where or why it is a government institution,
the finance
minister has to see it. That is what will let the finance minister make sure that you spend within your budget.
So that's the Commencement Act.
That is the commencement certificate.
Certificate.
Yes, and it is giving us overview. So today, the finance minister can get up and tell you that this is the total debt of Ghana since we came to power. You understand? Without making a mistake. Because no other agency can commit the state to any contract without the notice of the finance minister.
Your government is promising the big push. What are the measures, right, to ensure that we don't come back to this?
When you say you look at some example of those things in this. If I think I've heard when I was coming, my senior brother talking about Agenda 111 issue. You saw it this. About 35 contractors paid some mobilization, and none of them has gone to site. No evidence of them even visiting sites. Yet they are quiet. Several years down the line, in fact, some of them have even dissipated the monies that they took. You understand? So for big push, in fact, if you look at the criteria for the selection of big push, it's not easy. And that is why I commend JM for the way we have started. And I pray that we don't drift off. Look, big push, before you are awarded a big push project, look, those considerations of whether you are a party person, whether you are this, no. Hey. You must show capacity. It is about capacity. No, and that has been our problem. It's always the consideration have always been.
We've had a good laugh this morning, right?
No, that has been that is the history. Come on, let me that's not the history. That's where we are coming from.
Right, your party card is initially looked at before contracts are awarded.
That's what these people have.
Let me just give
your party people are fighting you that you are not even taking care of them.
No, but you see.
Let me share some figures with you.
Because you have the final
In
way.
2023, the Ministry of Roads and Highways reclassified road contractors. And when they did their selection and qualification, they had a total of 233 contractors on their list.
Yeah.
So they were reassessing. And then by 2024, November 2024, the number of qualified contractors have ballooned from 223 to 1,414.
Where are they all from?
So my question is, where did this contract suddenly come from? Is it because somebody had told them, look, there are some jobs on the way, so all of you come and register?
In his backyard, by now there are new contractors
post-election.
Post-election, that number has jumped between November 2024 to December 2025. That number has jumped to 3,464.
Oh my God.
So is it that people have been told that big push is coming, so go and register your companies? And then somehow we are not even
says no party contractors.
We are not even checking the capacity of these contractors. And you see, worse is that when you are classified as A1, B1, it means that you are unlimited in the jobs that you can do. That number has changed from November 24 from 64 to 290.
My question, who's even vetting their capabilities?
It's within the Ministry of Roads and Highways. That is what the vetting is supposed to be done. So if you go to the Ministry of Highways website, these figures are there.
Interesting.
So, I was saying, but you see, the big push in particular is a special project. So the president makes sure that, or even the finance minister and the roads minister, they make sure that whoever is awarded the big push has the capacity to do it. That is the first and foremost thing. You see, when we, especially such a huge project, when you begin to look at it only from party angle, chances are you have these projects being awarded, money is taken, and the work will not get done.
Thank you. So across the table, my panelists have been firm in their resolve and their belief that as much as we hold politicians accountable, we ought to also look at the civil service. We ought to look at the technocrats, and it's important that we also take it from there. We'll go on a quick break. When we are back, we'll delve into our second conversation for the day. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily. My name is Jude Duncan, sitting in for a regular host, Nana Tufo Boateng. Just gone by, we had our conversation on issues around a special audit conducted by the Finance Ministry, looking into some financial irregularities and infractions, by some alleged politicians and mainly technocrats and other civil servants. It's now time to delve into our second conversation for the day. The Speaker of Parliament on the floor yesterday announced during the swearing-in of the new Ayawaso East Member of Parliament, Baba Jamal Ahmed Mohammed, that the private bill seeking to criminalize issues around votes buying is taking shape, and we'll be delving into that particular story yesterday. But the new publisher have an interesting front page story. I brought it to you earlier. They recount Baba Jamal's first day in Parliament, and they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I've seen the supporters say that he was only meditating. So you shouldn't, try and do politics. It's been a long run, to Parliament. Anyway, so I'll start off with you, Koshi, on this particular issue before I come to the politicians. I know they have a lot to say. Is it a step in the right direction or another exercise in futility?
I mean, without mincing words, I'll say it's an exercise in futility. Yeah, I mean, let's be serious. Over the last 30 years that we've been practicing this in this Fourth Republic, what haven't we seen our contestants for primaries do? Baba Jamal's alleged case is only a tip of the iceberg. I mean, in the past few years, we've seen people giving motorcycles, all manner of very expensive items. Who has raised a finger about it? Suddenly, we say we are going to make a new law. But I'm saying that if we wanted to deal with this, within the political parties, they could have dealt with this. So it's not about making a new law. It is about the character of people leading our political parties who are saying that we are social democrats, we are property-owning democracy, we are this, we are for justice and all that. What have they done about the activities of their members? So if the political parties themselves have not had courage to deal with it, how do you think we are going to deal with that at the national level? Because again, like I said, we can recount a number of cases and violations of law that have gone on, and nobody has raised a finger. If you go to the Political Parties Act, which talks about audited accounts and issues like that, have we followed it? No. So we have enough laws on our books to deal with the situations that we have, but there's an unwillingness to deal with it. Baba Jamal's case, NDC went into set up a committee to look at the issue. The committee came out and said, yes, all the candidates misconducted themselves. How did the party arrive at the conclusion that all candidates had misconducted themselves? And what did the party choose to do? The party still said, oh, okay, let's go ahead. So for me, it is not about new laws.
But they gave reasons for that.
No, the reasons they give, I'm saying again, are not good enough. Because if you go into the parties themselves, their constitutions, they say that if anyone does anything to discredit the party, you can be punished.
So they should have called off the election.
Exactly. That is to demonstrate that you are interested in issues of probity and accountability. This is a party that talks about probity and accountability as the bedrock of their party.
But the presidency took firm action when they recalled him.
You recalled him, but the man is now MP. The man is MP now. The processes, and I'm saying the party itself could have dealt with this. So the excuse that the party gave for me is not tenable. Because inside the constitution, you find that they had violated their own constitution with some of these things. Or you can simply take a political decision and say, look, we found all of them administrative, and therefore none of them is qualified to contest in this election. Why? Because this is a case where the MPDC already has supermajority in Parliament. It is not a case where you need that seat. And even if you said none of them is, you can still support an independent candidate to come and sit with you in Parliament. But the way the party handled it, for me, does not tell us that the parties who are the owners of this process are interested in probity and accountability and therefore cleaning up the system. So for the Speaker of Parliament to say we are going to make new laws, for me, it's not going to hold. Look, we talked about, causing financial loss. I mean, with every law that we've made noise about it. But what has it brought us in terms of curbing corruption? OSP, Office of Special Prosecutor, what has it done so far? So we do all the fanfare about new laws, but when it comes to implementation, nothing happens.
I'm curious to know what your alternative would have been. So call off the election, like you're saying, and then what happens? The party picks a candidate.
So the current government says that they have come to reset. So I would have expected as part of that reset agenda, they will begin to demonstrate that they really mean that. So yes, call it off. Tell them none of them is qualified, and let other candidates come in.
But they said they had a very short time.
Short window. So you see, political parties are capable of doing it. I've also been a member of a political party. You can sit down and say, okay, we'll sponsor an independent candidate.
The CPP. The Conventions People Party.
I've simply become non-partisan because I think that none of the political parties is doing anything right at the moment.
So pick a candidate.
Yes, you can even sponsor an independent candidate and say, look, go and contest.
But would that have been democratic?
Why not? It's democratic. Once the people elect the person, that is it. You see, political parties are capable of changing things, making things happen, if they really mean to make things happen. But they are not.
Come on.
You see, to a large extent, I want to agree with Kwashi on the position that we have laws already set in our books, and yet we do not enforce those laws. What the speaker said, that there should be a new law, is a call in the right direction. But as to whether or not we have laws that allows us to also deal with some of these things, yes. He mentioned the OSP and his attempt to nip in the bud this vote buying, which is deemed as more or less a corrupt act. Okay? And again, I will cite this issue about vigilantism that we all spoke against. And we decided to go to Parliament to make a law. Okay? Has it stopped? No. We have the likes of Azoka still threatening people on by-election days. And saying they have their boys. Hey, if you see a finisher, they do that. When you come to MPP, you may have the likes of, Delta Force and whatever. Has it stopped? The same politicians, who are seeking to go to Parliament, who are seeking to become presidents, who are seeking to be whatever, we still use those boys to do that. We have a law there. The law is not even taken care of. We don't look at it. So the panacea or the solution is not the law. However, it is not to say that if there's a lacuna or if there's some space left that we haven't taken care of it, then there shouldn't be a law in that regard. There should be a law in that regard. But in actually coming out with a legislation, that legislation must be enforced. Don't just go and legislate. Make sure that we enforce it. But again, we will not blame parliamentarians there, because the enforcement is not their work. The enforcement is the executive. Though the executive will accent to the law and then is supposed to enforce it, they will finish accepting and then keep it somewhere and we are not working with it. But this act of misconduct during primaries, I suggested on a certain platform that, look, the General Secretary of MPP, the General Secretary of NDC, the General Secretaries of all the political parties must sit on a roundtable discussion. Let's all sit, if we really mean good for Ghana, and agree that these are the modalities we want to put in place for our internal elections.
So it starts with the primaries.
It starts with the primaries. Anyone who does this is disqualified. Let us come with a communique, then finish and issue a communique by us all. You see, MPP doesn't want to do it, and we say, is MPP alone who have gone to do this, is their cup of tea. NDC doesn't also want to do it, and say, is NDC alone who have done this, and is their cup of tea. But it is a canker, because we are getting to a level where competent people will not be elected to positions. It will only take people who is the highest bidder to come. Whether the person is a square peg in a round hole or not, you have elected the person.
And the point about how it also reinforces corruption.
Yes.
So now people win it and they have to recoup the money.
In fact, people want to become delegates not because they want to come and choose prudent people to come and represent us, because they will get some fridges, some motorbikes, some Kusiani Moko. Okay? Baba Jamal, after giving Koscielny Moko, had to go and sleep on the first day in Parliament.
He didn't sleep in Parliament.
But he gave Koscielny Moko, right?
He admitted to the Koscielny Moko.
Yes.
But he didn't
And
sleep.
even admitted to TVs.
Can you?
He didn't sleep.
I'm candid.
You are not fasting.
Was there no Koscielny Moko?
He didn't.
No, but this is not scandalous or libelous.
But he
Because
didn't sleep in Parliament. But make your point.
the picture you said, rest Ipsa Rikutu. The line is here. Look at it. The picture speaks for itself.
No.
The man is sleeping.
Please make your point. Yes.
Baba Jamal, after giving Koscielny Moko and televisions, which he admitted to, went to Parliament to sleep.
Wait, when did he admit that?
Oh, he was interviewed.
There was a
They
video
asked
where
him whether he was giving. He said yes.
he
What is wrong with
admitted
giving
to
TVs?
But let me come to
He
you,
admitted.
Abdul Fattah. You are in
You
Parliament,
understand?
right?
So I think to end with, I think on all serious notes, we should all be seen to be fight tenders. The IEA, I will call on them, Institute of Economic Affairs, to institute a roundtable discussion. They have been doing it, engaging with the political parties. Let us call them specifically on vote buying during primaries. It should be an issue. Then all political parties will come. It should be a project. I pray IEA listening to us this morning should do this. Then invite all political parties. Let us all agree on modalities. Then I think it will begin to sanitize the primary or the internal system.
Because I'll come to you
Otherwise
on the
it will be a problem.
feasibility of Kamaldeen's suggestions. But Abdul Fattah, here in Parliament, right, there are also concerns about how politicians, your actions and inactions sort of legitimize this, right? In the past NPP primaries that we witnessed at the end of January, all candidates, allegedly gave money. In fact, your May 2023 primaries that saw His Excellency John Dramani Mahama elected, we are being told he gave delegates 40 cedis across board. Put that together. Look at the sums involved. So why are you now coming to cry foul when you yourselves as politicians, MPs, you engage in such?
All right, thanks so much, Jude. There's always a point you get to and then come to a realization that you have to take a new leaf. There's no doubt that the monetization of our politics has become a big issue. And like Kamal rightly said, these days it is about who pays the fattest check.
Yeah.
Especially at primaries. That is why I buy into the recommendation of the Constitutional Review Commission that said that we need to expand. Political parties must expand as a matter of law, that we must legislate it so that political parties can expand their electoral college in terms of the election of their internal elections to include all card-bearing members, and that they should only be given the power or the opportunity to set timelines from maybe a year before the elections. All those who have party cards from 12 months ago to this, that period can be set by the political party. But it should not just be limited to the 5 members you have at polling stations in the case of MPP and the 9 members we have in the case of NDC. I think that's where the major issue is. If we have a very controlled number, a small number like that, then chances are you all be competing to undo each other. Now, and the thing is that, you see, if you go in and you say you want to play the saint,
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
You're in big trouble.
President, he has contested 2 elections. He'll tell you. You let your colleagues do it. You say, okay, you are not going to do this. You see where it will land you.
But they say politicians the citizens are a reflection, or the other way around, right? So politicians are a reflection of the people that we have.
Yeah, but you see, yes, the call by the speaker that there will be the introduction of the private members, as to whether the law itself or law alone will curb this. For instance, as we speak, we have our laws that frown upon monetization of our elections. If you look at 29, you understand, section 240, 241, 242, they are all talking about influencing voters in one way or the other. And they are all being criminalized. But still, even though we have them as laws, we don't even care a hoot about it. I think the major thing we have to do is to get it internalized in the political parties' internal structures.
Like Kamal
suggested. That is the only way. Look,
That's the only way.
and that is why when I saw the statement from my party, when this issue came up from the IR, I said, wow, then possibly maybe we are now beginning to see this as a major issue. Because look, it can only take the party
to deal with it.
to deal with it.
Not easy.
Not law, not easy.
But the EC have a campaign financing framework that political parties
How
are
many
to adhere
times,
to.
look, do they even, look, we even have a law that says that political parties might publish their accounts.
Exactly.
How many times have we seen that happening? You see, that's why some of us even call for the separation of the management of elections. You see, the Electoral Commission should just be focused on running elections, while the management of political parties should be given to another body. There are two different workloads, and each of them is loaded. You see, now our EC is only focused on running elections. Today, the only thing the EC is a master in is running of elections. How political parties run their affairs is also a duty on the EC, but they don't do it because they're overwhelmed by the mandate to run elections, and they see that is where we are all having our eyes on. You understand? So let's create another structure that manages political parties, that can see to it that the laws that we have requiring political parties to behave this way or that way, they follow through with that. Because the EC seems to have forgotten about that part of their responsibility. You understand? And so, like Kamal said, that issue of looking at it from the party internal structures is the best way to go about it.
Amazing.
You understand? And we have even passed laws to ban this vigilantism and all those things. You understand? But still, you may not hear the names coming, but they are working. They are working within the parties, and even candidates will want to even have them because they further their interest. So, as to whether this law, when it comes, the law being called the private members bill that Speaker is talking about, some of us we think that if we discipline ourselves internally as political parties,
I think we should begin.
We would be able to get somewhere. You see, but I don't also agree that we did nothing in this instance. In fact, our back was pushed to the wall. No, I'm coming. I'm coming. You see, we had a situation where, look at the
most on this matter. But if you go for this,
I raised an issue.
I thought we were even done.
I'll be very magnanimous on this matter.
He raised an issue. He said he was disappointed the way it was handled.
Yeah.
Yes, some of
I
us
was equally disappointed. I just didn't want to go there.
My issue was, we also wanted it to have gone further. We wanted investigation to be conducted. But this was a situation where we had only 2 days.
You can select. There's selection. You see, I don't know of your party's constitution. Our party constitution says that we either elect through primaries or we select a candidate.
But
so the party can select a candidate. If you really wanted to serve Ghana.
Is selecting a candidate a democratic, procedure?
It depends on the definition you give to democratic principle.
No,
democratic
in
principle,
that the people having a choice.
all sit down and agree.
No,
then let us select. It's a democratic.
But that is the party hierarchy.
That's as I don't know of their constitution. But our constitution is clear that
is it.
our party headquarters can sit down and select the candidate.
I have a feeling.
Given our research, this person must stand for us.
I feel that
no problem. We can do that.
All is
and
not
we can
lost.
also do the primaries too as well.
I feel that all is
They
not
could have
lost
done
yet.
selection.
That move itself was a signal that there's now that new thinking within the NDC.
Did you also sign against Baba Jamal in Parliament? Because 189 of you signed that he should not even be allowed to
Come, did you see the list containing 189 names?
No, you're representing.
Did you see the list containing
Indirectly,
189
you're all
names?
part of it.
So it should tell you that we were showing abhorrence to vote buying.
And then he shouldn't be in Parliament. You said the man
No,
should
you see,
actually be dealt
that
with.
is one issue.
No.
But only for the man to come and sit
Members
and
of
speak.
Parliament,
Honorable Abdul
was allowed to
Fattah.
sign. There was only chairman of the various committees.
With your
of the various
consent,
caucuses.
with your consent, didn't you?
See,
No, tell me you didn't consent to it. Because they said you consented. All of you consented.
Abdul
Why are you
Fattah,
taking this conversation?
have you bought votes before?
No.
You've
You
not
see,
bought votes before.
The way our internal election, if you don't take water, even if you buy pure water for somebody, it will be classified as vote buy. That is why even in the last MPP primaries, most of them they were classifying it as transportation. They will have various names they give.
So it's all the same.
So
What is on the banner is a Koscielny Moko. It's not about MPP primaries. What is on the banner is Koscielny Moko.
I didn't see Koscielny Moko anywhere. In that case, you see, it's like it's a canker wheel.
Please wrap it up for us.
If we want to be frank with ourselves, it's an issue that has taken a bigger stage in our internal politics, especially the internal one. It's more common in the internal, and today you are even going to see more of it. So it's about time. And I like if the step NDC took even though it didn't take us anywhere. But that signal, if we can strengthen that move, that stance, I think it will go a long way to help us. Because you see, anytime a party is in power, chances are you have that thing becoming more common.
Entrenched.
You understand, in that party. So we have a golden opportunity, and we because said, we are promised to reset Ghana, and I am looking forward to my leadership taking both.
So I also it was a missed opportunity.
No, I'll call it miss. It was a difficult situation we found ourselves in.
When you are very honest, it's not easy to answer certain questions.
Today I've had a very moderate panel. So today I've had a moderate panel, but I realized that on some of the issues. But it's fine because she Kamal says we should get IEA to address.
I think it's a good idea if the parties will commit to it.
Party level.
Because you see, and that is why, although if IEA initiated it, it's fine. But I think that the parties themselves should initiate it.
Of course, we should work together. We can do that.
Exactly.
Once IEA initiates it, at some point one party can say, look, me, I'm not interested in this IEA business and walk away. So the parties themselves must show commitment to that process and say, oh, look, IEA, help us with it. I would think that would be a better approach, so that the parties themselves are coming with commitment that we want to do this. IEA, help us with it. I think that would be a good step. On the constitutional reviews, suggestions to enlarge the party base for electing people. Yes, it is a good idea, but I don't think that would be a solution to the problem. One, because once people still have deep pockets, they will be able to circumvent the system.
With the numbers?
With the numbers, we're talking about.
You see, you try it. You see, the larger the number, the deeper the pockets should be. That is what is going to happen.
Get the money
So I think that
the
issue we should also be looking at is how do we control the process, why people need to monetize the system. So if we say that, look, internally, for you to have primaries, the rules are going to be that every candidate will have an opportunity, the party will create a platform where you meet candidates and you send your campaign message, you do this, you do this. And then you cannot do anything else outside of this. Those are the things, because that is how the people spend their money.
We are in a technological world.
Oh, no. That is fine.
I can reach you
But
through various means.
I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you. Sending Momo, do all manner. Yes, I agree with you. But the point is that the party has made the internal rule. Now, if you find that evidence against you,
which can
you
be
are
easily
disqualified.
verified.
That is if it can
Easily verified, right? If you send Momo,
No. I send money to you, you don't even. I don't send it from my account.
Easily. Your colleague, your occupant can petition against you.
So it is easy. You see, so it is easy to find that evidence. That is why I still maintain that the district assembly, the assembly members remain non-partisan, because so long as it exists, although political parties are supporting people, once you can find the evidence, you can change the person.
Interesting.
So for me, I think we should
Final
look at
hours.
the structures.
Final hours. Come on, I'll start with you. 30 seconds.
A quick one. I will reiterate my point that it is we, the political parties, who can fight this and nip this in the bud. Why? Hitherto, we didn't have the strength. It wasn't there at all until NDC started with lanterns, machetes,
Come on.
Maggie Cube, and all that. And
You want us to go. This 30 minutes.
It advanced to now rice and sugar. In the name of Ramadan season, Salah season. Now, in the name of Christmas, it came to Akoko. Now we are even getting Akosuyana Moko. See, and it's moving to money. Look, where people pay 10,000 cedis, alleged, to a delegate. That is so serious. Just because I want to go to parliament. And you get to parliament and get nothing. That's the sad aspect of it. My brother is a member of parliament.
It's a pity.
Sometimes even today they are crying. They have not even paid them up to date.
It's a pity.
Most of them are struggling. Parliament have not had their payment yet. Meanwhile, the constituents are sitting there thinking that he has a lot. So why do I even spend much money to go and get nothing? So we, the political parties, with all respect, I would appeal to my general secretary. I would appeal to Fifi Kote of NDC. They are the big parties, and then other general secretaries. Look, let us have a meeting. Nanado tried something when he was president. What Nanado did was to call all regional chairmen of parties and general secretaries to sit to discuss Ghana. We can also initiate it, sit and discuss internal primaries. What can we do to nip this thing in the bud?
Thank you so much, Kamaldeen. Yes, Abdul.
Kamaldeen is throwing something at the last minute which will not even engage our mind. You know, in fact, many Ghanaians would attest to the fact that it was with the onset of MPP, when Kufuor came, that we saw the monetization of our elections. Look, Rollins, who dare you? Yes, and the Rollins. In fact,
Were you in Ghana?
Yes, I was. Rollins time, this was
one,
very
yes, in
rare.
Ghana, I'm sure.
Very, very rare. And so if you sit here to
Rollins
say
was even
it was
fishes.
under NDC, that this, no,
It's not true.
Rollins did, you couldn't, even as an appointee of Rollins,
You couldn't have done that.
couldn't dare do such a thing. And so let's not, in fact, that is where we are even moving away from. And so I would not even want to concentrate on that. But all in all, I support the call for the parties themselves to initiate such discussions and stand firm to be able to root this thing out, because that is the only way that we can bring sanity to
amazing.
our
Michael
our
Koshi
political
Dede.
system.
No, I will end by saying no amount of laws can stop bad people from doing what they want to do. And no amount of laws can prohibit or stop a good person from wanting to do what needs to be done. So we should be looking at people's characters as a way of dealing with this issue of corruption. We should punish people and hold people accountable. Without that, making new laws would not really help us.
Amazing. Thank you so much, gentlemen. So again, across the table, my panelists shared the opinion that the rate at which we see some of these votes buying is endemic to our development and to our political, discourse as a people. So we need to get that check, and that will be how we end today's discussion. Grateful for your time, Alhaji Kamaldeen Abdullahi, Deputy Communications Director at the New Patriotic Party, Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan, Member of Parliament for Yendi, and of course Michael Koshi Dede. He's an engineer.
Your designer for your
outfit. Thank you very much.
Very beautiful.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I want to actually know your design.
Thank you so much. That's all time allows. But thank you for watching. Catch you same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.